Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome back to the 1991 playoffs in Payoff Pitch Baseball. After yesterday's wild game between the Oakland Athletics and the Minnesota Twins, we're moving over to the National League for Game 3 of the National League Division Series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Atlanta Braves, as that series shifts over to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium for Game 3. Taking a look at the most updated brackets, as we see here, the Oakland Athletics have swept the Minnesota Twins in their American League Division Series. The Athletics now wait for the winner of the Toronto Blue Jays and the Kansas City Royals. That series is tied at 1, and Game 3 will be tomorrow night. Moving over to the National League, we see that the Pittsburgh Pirates and the New York Mets are also tied at 1 as that series shifts to Shea Stadium. Their Game 3 will be Thursday. But coming up in this video, we've got Game 3 between the Dodgers and the Braves, as I mentioned. Los Angeles currently leads the series 2-0, and they're looking for the death blow. But they're in Atlanta with a rabid crowd. The crowd is still filing in. We're expecting a sellout today as the Braves face elimination. But while the crowd files in, let's go ahead and meet our starting pitchers, and we'll start off with the Dodgers starting pitcher. Starting pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers is Tim Belcher. 10-9 with a 2.62 ERA, 209 and a third innings pitched, 189 hits, 10 homers, 75 walks, and 156 strikeouts in 91. He'll be hitting on pitcher hitting card 3, and he'll be in charge of trying to keep the Atlanta lineup in check today, and he's a right-handed pitcher. Now we can go ahead and meet Atlanta's starting pitcher, and we'll take our first look at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Starting pitcher for the Atlanta Braves is John Smoltz. 14-13 with a 3.80 ERA, 229 and two-thirds innings pitched, gave up 206 hits, 16 homers, 77 walks, and 148 strikeouts in 91. Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, very much a hitter's park, especially to lefties. That is a very high wheelhouse to lefties, and moderately hitter's park as well to righties, with a pretty high wheelhouse, especially compared to some of the other stadiums that we've seen in this replay. With that, we're all set up, so let's move back over to the main game area and check the shot over there. Everything looks set to go over here, just making sure I've got everything the way I like it in shot. Okay, everything looks good here. So with that, the pregame festivities are all finished, so let's play ball. While the Braves get loose in the field, we'll take our first look at the Dodgers starting lineup. Leading off, we'll have Lenny Harris at third base. Cal Daniels is in left field. Darryl Strawberry is in right field. Brett Butler is in center field. Mike Scioscia's catching. Eddie Murray is at first base. Alfredo Griffin is at shortstop. Mike Sharperson is at second base. And Tim Belcher, the pitcher, as I mentioned, is batting off of pitcher hitting card 3. That should be Tim Belcher, not Tom Belcher. Anywho, now that we've got that sorted out, Smoltz is done with his warm-up tosses, so stepping into the batter's box will be Lenny Harris. He hit 2 of his 3 homers against right-handed pitching. We're going to use red, white, and blue dice. Braves are the home team in this one. Game 3 of the NLDS. Let me note it on my box score. Dodgers looking for the death blow in this series. If they land it, they go to the NLCS and wait for the Pirates or the Braves. If the the Mets. If the Braves evade the death blow, Game 4 of this series will be on Saturday. Who will prevail? Only the dice know, and to see what story they decide to tell today, we need to start this off with the first pitch. 5 is going to be a tough 11, and Harris is going to swing through a splitter that's just out of the zone, and that'll be the first strikeout of the day for Smoltz, along with the first out of the inning. Here's Cal Daniels. Daniels hit 11 of his 17 homers against right-handed pitching. Smoltz will look in at Heath to get the sign. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. 6 is a tough 15, And that curveball is going to freeze Daniels on the outside corner, and that'll be a called strike 3. 2 outs in the inning, and here's Darryl Strawberry. Strawberry hit 17 of his 28 home runs against right-handed pitching. Smoltz will get the sign from Heath. Smoltz will set. He will wind. Here's the pitch. 3 is a tough 75, and Strawberry is going to lift that one into center field. Not too much of a problem for Gant on that one. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Dodgers in the top of the first. Currently LA 0, Atlanta coming to bat. And while the Dodgers get loose in the field, we'll take our first look at the Braves starting lineup. Leading off for Atlanta, we've got Otis Nixon in left field. Rafael Belliard is at shortstop. Terry Pendleton is at third base. Ron Gant is in center field. David Justice in right field. Sid Bream at first base. Mark Lemke at second base. Mike Heath is catching. And John Smoltz is hitting off of pitcher hitting card 3, just like his counterpart today. Leading off the bottom of the first for the Braves, we have Otis Nixon. Didn't hit any homers against either side last in 91. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. He will set, he will wind. Here's the pitch. 3 is going to be a tough 31. And against a righty, Nixon will lead off the game with a base hit for the Braves. Atlanta knows they have no room for error today. If they screw this up, they're never going to get another chance in 91. Here's Rafael Belliard. Belliard didn't hit any homers either. Dodgers will go to double play depth for the time being. Nixon is a jump of 10 against a hold of 8. Now, 10 hold of 8. Are they going to try to send him here? He would be a B4, which would be an excellent chance to steal. The Braves are going to see if Nixon can get the jump on Belcher. Nixon's on his way to second on an excellent chance. So let's see what happens here. And barely a throw. Nixon will get in there with an easy stolen base. The Braves clearly are willing to be aggressive on the base paths today. But that will take away the double play from the Dodgers in this one. So Belcher will look in at Scotia for the sign with Nixon now at second base. Belcher will get the sign, he will set, and here's the pitch. 4 is going to be an in-play 37, and that's going to be popped up on the infield. Getting under that one will be Murray, the first baseman. He'll make the catch for the first out of the inning. Terry Pendleton next steps into the batter's box. 18 of his 22 homers in 91 against right-handed pitching. We're going to assume switch hitters are batting lefty to try to take advantage of a higher wheelhouse chance. Belcher will look in at Pendleton for the sign. Nixon over at second. Maybe Braves trying to think about swiping a bag, but they're not going to try it now. Belcher will set. Here's the pitch. 4 is going to be an in-play 41. Lifted on the infield once again. Getting under that one again will be Murray. He'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. And here's Ron Gant. Gant hit 22 of his 32 homers against right-handed pitching. Belcher trying to get out of the inning after a leadoff single and a stolen base. Belcher will look in at Scotia for the sign. Belcher will set. Here's the pitch. 6 is going to be an in-play 4. And against a righty, Gant's going to smack that one out of the infield for a double. Nixon will get on the board, and the Braves will take an early lead. We don't have to check the fielding cards on that one because doubles automatically constitute 2 base advances. Score is 1-0 in favor of Atlanta. Stadium cheers. Yay! Forgot to advance that. Gant now at second base. And here's David Justice. Justice hit 14 of his 21 homers against right-handed pitching in 91. 1-0 Atlanta. Bottom of the first. Still plenty of baseball to be played. Belcher looks back to Gant at second. He will look in at Scotia for the sign. Belcher will set. Here's the pitch. 9 is a patient 42, and that's ball 4. Justice will lay off a changeup that was heading out of the zone, and that will be a 2-out walk. And coming up next for the Braves, we have Sid Bream. Bream hit 10 of his 11 homers against right-handed pitching. Gant at second, Justice at first. Belcher looking at Scotia for the sign. 1-0 Atlanta. Braves are threatening. 2 outs in the inning, though. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. He will set. Here comes the pitch. 5 is a patient 8, and that's ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Slider gets away from Belcher, and the bases are now loaded for Mark Lemke. Lemke hit 2 of his home runs against right-handed pitching. Bases are full of Braves. No place to put Lemke. Belcher looks in at Scotia. Belcher will get the sign. They'll shake him off. Scotia will give him another sign. This one Belcher will take. He will set. Here's the pitch. 3 is a tough 55, and that's going to be a ground ball to third base. Getting to that one is going to be Harris. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that will retire the side. 1 run on 2 hits, a stolen base, and 2 walks. Score is 1-0 Atlanta after 1. Top of the second coming up, and we'll see the middle of the Dodgers order due up next. Smoltz will finish up his warm-up tosses as stepping into the batter's box is Brett Butler. Both of his 2 homers coming against right-handed pitching in '91. 1-0 Atlanta, Game 3 of the NLDS. Dodgers looking for the death blow, Braves trying to evade it. Fans are cheering, with Atlanta having a 1-0 lead. Smoltz will get the sign from Heath. Smoltz will wind. Here's the pitch. 8 is a patient 61, and Butler will lead off with a walk. Splitter gets away from Smoltz, gets out of the zone, and Butler will find himself on with a leadoff walk in the top of the second. Here's Mike Scotia. Infield will go to double play depth. Scotia hit 5 of his 8 homers against right-handed pitching. Let's see. Jump of 6 against a hold of 8. He would be a C4, which would be a very good chance. Jump of 6, hold of 8. Butler's going to try to get the jump here. Well, the Dodgers will try to fight fire with fire. Since the Braves are willing to be aggressive, the Dodgers will try their hand at it as well. Needs a 70 or less to get the jump. That's an 8, and Butler's off to second on a very good chance. And similar luck, he will be safe. That will put Butler at second with a stolen base. Now the Dodgers have a runner in scoring position. Smoltz will look up to Butler at second. Smoltz will turn to Heath to get the sign. Smoltz will set. Here's the pitch. 10 is a patient 44, and that's going to be ball 4 for Scotia. Slider gets away from Smoltz, and that's the second walk of the inning. Here's Eddie Murray, 13 of his 19 homers coming against left-handed pitching. Butler could be thinking about trying to get the jump to second again, or to third again. He would need a 70 or less. Actually, he would need, 70 or less to get the jump. And the Dodgers are going to try it. They're feeling daring today. They want to end this series today if they can. Butler's off to third on a very good chance. And Heath must have sensed something off because he called for a pitch out, and he gets the ball up to third, and Butler will be tagged out. Stadium cheers. Yay! The Dodgers tried to get greedy, and they got caught. They got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Scotia is Not going to go anywhere, not after watching that play. Braves will be at double play depth for this one, though. Scotia on first, 1 out in the inning. Smoltz will look into Heath for the sign. Smoltz will set. Here's the pitch. 7 is going to be a tough 31. And Murray's just going to miss a curveball, try to do too much with it, and that's going to be strike 3. That's going to be strike 3 on the outside corner for the second out of the inning. Okay. Here's Alfredo Griffin. Griffin didn't hit any homers on either side in 91. 2 outs in the inning. Smoltz trying to limit the damage. He's given up 2 walks, trying to work his way out of it. He got a big hand from Heath, who called for a pitch out and caught Butler stealing. Griffin will get the sign. Here's the pitch. Or not Griffin. Smoltz will get the sign from Heath. Smoltz will set. Here's the pitch. 5 is going to be a tough 82. And Griffin's going to lift that one into center field. Gant coming in for it a little bit, but he'll eventually slow down, make the catch, and that will retire the side. 2 walks and a stolen base, but the Dodgers can't do anything with it. Score remains 1-0 heading into the bottom of the second. Belcher will finish his warm-up tosses quickly as he'll be looking at the bottom of Atlanta's order. Here's Mike Heath, his only homer coming against left-handed pitching in 91. Problem with that, Belcher's a righty. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. Belcher will set. Here's the pitch. 8 is going to be a tough 25. Heath will swing through that high heat for strike 3. And that'll be the first out of the inning. And here comes John Smoltz. No batting details, of course, for the pitchers. I could look it up on Sports Ref, but I'm not feeling that particularly lazy. Or not feeling lazy. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. Belcher will wind up. Here comes the pitch. 12 is a ballpark check. 61. That's wheelhouse, but Smoltz has very terrible power as a batter. 70 is going to be lifted into center field. Butler will get under that one easily. He'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. Smoltz would probably be more disappointed with himself if he had more power in his bat. And here's Nixon. Nixon stole a base and scored. Nixon singled, stole a base, and scored. All in the first. Bottom of the second, Belcher trying to limit the damage to 1-0. He's hoping to get out of this inning. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. Here's the windup, and here's the pitch. 6 is going to be an in-play 6. That's not limiting the damage. That's a base hit for Nixon. Nixon will smack that one out of the infield and continue the inning with 2 outs. Here's Belliard. Belliard is 0 for 1. He popped out his first time up. Could they try sending Nixon again on the base paths? That is a very tempting idea. Jump of 10 against a hold of 8. They're going to try it. They already know Nixon's got an excellent chance to steal. He needs an 84 and under to get the jump. And off he goes to second. Let's see what happens on the throw from Scotia. It gets up there, but not remotely in time. Nixon will find himself safe with another stolen base. And once again, the Braves have a runner at second with 2 out. They need to learn to get Nixon out. Belliard will brace for this pitch from Belcher. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. Belcher will set, and here's the pitch. 5 is going to be a patient 57. And that's going to be grounded over to third. Getting to that one is going to be Harris. He'll throw that over to first, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except the single and the stolen base. Score remains 1-0 Atlanta after 1. Top of the third coming up as we're looking at the bottom of the Dodgers order, due up next. Smoltz will finish his warm-up tosses as stepping into the batter's box is Mike Sharperson. Both of his homers came against left-handed pitching, but once again the problem for him is that Smoltz is a righty. 1-0 Atlanta, Game 3 of the NLDS. Dodgers win, they go to the NLCS. Braves win, Game 4 is on Saturday. Smoltz will get the sign from Heath. Smoltz will wind up, and here's the pitch. 7 is going to be a tough 2, and the curveball will catch enough of the zone to be strike 3, and Sharperson will be retired. That is already the 4th strikeout of the day for Smoltz. Here's Tim Belcher. Of course, no batting stats for the pitchers. Smoltz will look in at Heath for the sign. Smoltz will wind up. Here's the pitch. 8 is a patient 81. And that's going to be grounded over to short. Getting after that one will be Belliard. He'll fire it over to first for the second out of the inning. And here's Harris back to the plate for the second time. Harris struck out swinging his first time up. 2 outs, top of the 3rd. Smoltz trying to keep this game under control. Smoltz will get the sign from Heath. He will wind up. Here's the pitch. 6 is going to be a tough 81. And it's lifted into center field. Gant again getting under that one. He'll have to go back for this one a little bit, but not too bad. He'll make the catch and retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Dodgers in the top of the 3rd. As we get ready for the bottom of the 3rd. Belcher will finish his warm-up tosses as he'll be looking at the heart of Atlanta's order. Leading off the bottom of the 3rd, Terry Pendleton. Pendleton popped out his first time up. Belcher looking in at Scotia for the sign. Belcher trying to hold this game right where it is. Belcher will wind up. Here's the pitch. 3 is going to be a tough 41. And against a righty, Pendleton will get that one out of the infield, and that will be a leadoff base hit for the Braves. Atlanta Fulton County Stadium has not stopped cheering today. Here's Gant coming up to the plate. Gant is 1 for 1 with a double. Could they try to swipe a bag with Pendleton? Jump of 4 against a hold of 8. They're going to rely on Gant's power. They've got a lot of power in the middle of this lineup. Do the Braves. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. Dodgers will go to double play depth. Once I remember to set that up. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. He will set. Here's the pitch. 6 is an in-play 1. And against a righty, Gant will get that one out of the infield for a double. Let's see what happens here. Drive down the line into left field. Runners advance 2 bases. So that'll be a D7 for Gant. Pendleton to 3rd, Gant to 2nd. Gant will get in there with a stand-up double. Stadium is going crazy for that one. And there's still nobody out in the inning. Here's David Justice. Justice reached on a walk his first time up. The infield is going to have to play in on this one. They cannot afford to let any more runs score. Belcher looking in at Justice. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. Belcher will set, and here's the pitch. 9 is a patient 93. It's a fly ball into right field. Getting under that one is going to be Strawberry. He'll make the catch for the first out of the inning, but it is deep enough to score Pendleton since it was patient. That'll be a sac fly, and I believe Gant will take 3rd as well on an F9. Yes. So Pendleton will score to make it 2-0 Atlanta, and Gant will take 3rd on the sacrifice fly from Justice. The infield will have to stay in, though, with Fulton County Stadium going crazy. Here's Sid Bream. Bream reached on a walk his first time up. 2-0 now in favor of Atlanta. Game 3 of the ALDS. Or not the ALDS, the NLDS. Dodgers trying to get to the championship series. Braves trying to bring us back on Saturday. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. He will set. Here's the pitch. 6 is an in-play 26. And against a righty, Bream will get that one out of the infield for a base hit, and Gant will score. Score is now 3-0 in favor of the Braves. Stadium cheers. Yay! The infield will go to double play depth on that one. There's one out in the inning. Justice had a sac fly. Here's Lemke. Lemke is 0 for 1. He grounded out his first time up. Bream is an F steal. He's not a threat to do much on the base paths. Do we roll for pickoffs? We might actually still roll for pickoffs, even if we're trying to steal. No, I think we only roll out on a steal attempt. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. Belcher will set, trying to limit the damage. Here's the pitch. 9 is a patient 7, and that's ball 4. Belcher not able to keep it together today. Here's Heath. Heath is 0 for 1. He struck out swinging his first time up. Dodgers are still at double play depth. 3-0 in favor of Atlanta. Game 3 of the NLDS. Belcher looking at Scotia for the sign. He will set. Here's the pitch. 7 is going to be a tough 71. It's a fly ball into center field. Getting under that one is going to be Butler. He'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. And that's a fly to center field. Bream is a run of 7, so he will make third on tagging up. And here's Smoltz. Smoltz is 0 for 1. He flew out his first time up. Although he's got to be feeling pretty good, staked to a 3-0 lead thanks to his offense. Bream on third, Lemke on first. Smoltz at the plate. Belcher gets the sign from Scotia. He will set. Here's the pitch. 3 is a tough 80. Smoltz will swing through the high heat, trying to do too much with it, and that will retire the side. 2 runs on 3 hits, a walk, and a sacrifice fly, and the score is now 3-0 in favor of Atlanta. Oop. Gotta switch those two. Top of the 4th coming up, and we'll be looking at the 2, 3, 4 of the Dodgers order. Leading off the top of the 4th for the Dodgers, it's Cal Daniels. Daniels is 0 for 1. He struck out looking his first time up. 3-0 Atlanta, top of the 4th. Fulton County Stadium going nuts. Smoltz will get the sign from Heath. Smoltz will set. He will wind. Here's the pitch. 9 is an in-play 72. That's going to be lifted into center field. Gant doesn't have to range too far to his left for this one. He'll make the catch for the first out of the inning. Smoltz seems to have brought his A-game today. Here's Strawberry. Strawberry is 0 for 1. He flew out to center his first time up. Smoltz looking at it, Heath for the sign. He will set. Smoltz will wind. Here's the delivery. 7 is a tough 15. And Strawberry's going to get frozen by a curveball for strike 3. That will be Smoltz's 6th, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th strikeout of the day. Never mind. And here's Butler. Butler reached on a walk, swiped a bag, and then got caught stealing in the second. Smoltz trying to get out of the inning without any problems. Dodgers hoping to extend the inning. Smoltz will get the sign from Heath. He will set. Here's the pitch. 6 is going to be a tough 15. Butler will swing through a curveball for strike 3, and now we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Now we have the 6th strikeout of the day for Smoltz. 1, 2, 3 go the Dodgers in the top of the 4th. We'll be looking at the top of Atlanta's order coming up next. Here's Nixon. Nixon is 2 for 2 today. He's singled twice and stolen 2 bases. He's singled twice, stolen 2 bases, and scored a run. Belcher looks in at Scotia for the sign. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. 7 is a tough 87, and it's a ground ball to short. Griffin moving to his left to get that one. He'll get it, move it over to first, and that's the first out of the inning. And here's Belliard. Belliard is 0 for 2. Bottom of the 4th, 3-0 Atlanta. Fulton County Stadium has not stopped buzzing. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. Belcher will wind up. Here's the pitch. 7 is going to be a tough 69, and it's a ground ball to second. Getting at that one will be Sharperson after moving to his right. He'll make the play for the second out of the inning. Here's Pendleton. Pendleton is 0 for 1. Here's 1 for 2, actually. He singled and scored a run. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. He will set. Here's the pitch. 2 is a wheelhouse check, but an 88 is going to be good enough for a base hit for Pendleton, and the inning will continue. The Dodgers just can't get out of these innings when they get to 2 outs quickly. And here's Gant. Gant is 2 for 2 today with 2 doubles. Braves are going into the murderer's row of their lineup. Belcher will look in at Scotia for the sign. Belcher will set, look over to Pendleton. Here's the pitch. 5 is going to be a patient 59. And against a righty, Gant will get that one for a base hit. Soft blooper into short left field. Runner on first advances 1 base for an S7 for Gant. Pendleton will be at second. Gant will be at first, and the 2-out carnage continues if you're the Dodgers. Here's David Justice. Justice is actually, it doesn't have an official at bat. He walked and he's got a sacrifice fly today. Pendleton at second. Gant at first. 3-0 Atlanta. Bottom of the 4th, 2 outs. Dodgers trying to get out of the inning. Braves trying to push the dagger in deeper and get us back here for Saturday. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. Belcher will set. Here's the pitch. 5 is a patient 75. And that's going to be ball 4 for Justice, and the bases are full of Braves once again. We may be looking at activity in the Dodger bullpen here pretty soon. Here's Bream. Here's Lemke. Actually, it should be Bream up next. I was about to skip over Bream. Bream is 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. Dodgers hoping to get out of the inning without any carnage. Braves would love to score some more runs here. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. Belcher will set. Here's the pitch. 4 is going to be an in-play 99, and it's a fly ball to right field. Strawberry going back toward the track for that one, but he'll still have grass under him to make the catch and retire the side. 2 hits and a walk, and the Braves leave the bases loaded. Score remains 3-0 Atlanta after 4. Stadium groans. Ugh. Top of the 5th coming up, and we'll be looking at the middle of the Dodgers order due up next. We're going to start getting some activity in the Dodger bullpen as Jim Gott is going to start getting loose for the Dodgers. Coming in to lead off the top of the 5th, we've got Mike Scotia. Scotia reached on a walk his first time up. Smoltz feeling pretty good right now, being staked to a 3-0 lead, but anything can happen. No lead is safe in payoff pitch. As we saw with the Athletics and the Twins last night, 3 runs can easily disappear just like that. Smoltz will get the sign from Heath. He will wind up. Here's the pitch. 5 is a tough 37, and it's popped up on the infield. Getting under that one is going to be Bream. He'll move, take a couple steps to his right, get under it, and he'll make the catch for the first out of the inning. Here's Murray. Murray struck out swinging his first time up. Smoltz looking at it. Heath for the sign. Looking very loose out there. He's got to be feeling good right now. Smoltz will get the sign. Here's the pitch. 4 is going to be an in-play 94, and that's lifted into left field. Getting after that one is going to be Nixon. He'll take a couple steps to his left, make the catch for the second out of the inning. And here's Griffin. Griffin flew out to center his first time up. 3-0 Atlanta, top of the 5th. Smoltz looks in at Heath for the sign. Smoltz will set. Here's the pitch. 4 is an in-play 41. And it's popped up on the infield once again. This time it'll be Pendleton's turn to get under one. He'll make the catch and retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Dodgers in the top of the 5th, and it remains 3-0 heading into the bottom of the 5th. Belcher will take his warm-up tosses as he gets ready for the bottom of Atlanta's order. Leading off the bottom of the 5th is Mark Lemke. Lemke is 0 for 2. Actually, no. Lemke is 0 for 1 with a walk. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. He will wind up. Here's the pitch. 8 is going to be a tough 78, and that's going to be lifted into center field. Butler will have to make a few steps in for that one, but he'll get to it and make the catch for the first out of the inning. Here's Heath. Heath is 0 for 2. He struck out and flown out today. Belcher looking in at Scotia for the sign. He will wind up. Here is the pitch. 11 is a defense check. Oh boy, who's got to play defense for the Dodgers? That ball is hit to third base. Going after that is Harris. His range is a D. He was very suspect out there. He won't get that one, and we'll find out where that's going to be. And that's going to be a double by Heath. As the Dodgers are not having anything go right today. Here comes Smoltz. Smoltz is 0 for 2. The Dodgers are going to bring the corners in expecting the bunt. And I think Smoltz is going to lay down the bunt here. So let's see what happens here. He's a C bunt. And it's a good sacrifice. Heath will move over to third. There will be 2 outs in the inning. Didn't mean to jar the camera. Here's Nixon. Go away. Nixon is 2 for 3 with 2 singles and 2 stolen bases. Had to kill an ant that suddenly wanted to come out and play. Runner infield will play back. Belcher looking over at Heath at third. He will get the sign. Belcher will set. Here's the pitch. 11 is a defense check. Somebody's got to play defense again. We saw how well that worked out the first time. Once again, we're calling Harris's name. This time it's an error check. That ball is once again hit to Harris. His error rating is a 3. And he won't get to that one either. And that'll be a one-base error, but it'll be enough to score Heath. Nixon will make it to first. Heath will score. We'll score on the E5. And the sacrifice bunt by Smoltz pays off. And it is now 4-0 in favor of the Braves. Stadium cheers. Yay! I suspect Belcher is going to have some choice words for Harris when they go back to the dugout. Here's Belliard. Belliard is 0 for 3 today. He's popped out and grounded out twice. Belcher trying to get out of the inning. He looks over to Nixon for the sign. Or he looks over to Nixon at first to make sure he's not doing anything crazy. Belcher will look in at Scotia for the sign. Belcher will set. Here's the pitch. 4 is going to be an in-play 3. And against a righty, that's going to be a double. Let's see where it goes. Liner into left center field, cut off by the left fielder. Runners advance 2 bases. That's going to be a D7. And the Dodgers cannot get out of this inning. Here's Pendleton. Pendleton is 2 for 3 with 2 singles, and he's scored a run. Belcher trying desperately to get out of this inning. Gott is ready to come in whenever. Belcher will get the sign from Scotia. 4-0 Atlanta. Belcher will set. Here's the pitch. 7 is going to be a tough 30. And Pendleton will swing through that one, trying to do too much with it. And that high heat will finally end the inning. 1 run on 2 hits and an error. And the score is 4-0 Atlanta after 5. Top of the 6th coming up, and we'll see the bottom of the Dodgers order due up next. I don't think anyone will be surprised to hear that we missed it on the camera shot, but yes, indeed, Belcher ran over to third base after the 3rd out and immediately started chewing out Lenny Harris. And I have a feeling the manager is going to back him up on that one. So we're going to take a look for a new third baseman because the Dodgers may bring him in. They bring a new third baseman, and they are not happy at all with how Harris has played this game today. He failed to make a range play and got caught with an error. Yeah, they've actually got some options. They've actually got another option here, which they might go with. I'll have to think about that. Because, well, we'll have to make the decision soon because Belcher is batting second in this inning. Anyway, here's Mike Sharperson. Sharperson, though, is 0 for 1. He struck out looking his first time up. 4-0 Braves, top of the 6th. Atlanta trying to extend this series and looking like they are well on their way to doing so. Smoltz will get the sign from Heath. He will wind up. Here's the pitch. 11 is a ballpark check. 0-0. We're going to have a rare ballpark play with bases empty. Ballpark or wheelhouse. Here we go. '87. Batter hits a towering ball into the outfield where it hits a bird. Both the bird and the ball fall into fair territory, and the batter is safe with a double at second. If the stadium has a roof, the ball lodges into a speaker or roof support, and the umps award a ground rule double for the batter. So Sharperson reaches on a leadoff double, which will actually cost Smoltz his no-hitter. He had a no-hitter going on this one, but not anymore, he doesn't. So now we have a decision to make. Are they going to bring Belcher out of the game? I think they are going to pinch hit for Belcher. I'll compile stats for him real quick here. He did not have a good day at all in this one. So 5 innings pitched, faced 30 batters, struck out 1, 2, 3, walked 1, 2, 3, 4. Gave up a lot of hits today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hits. 4 runs, all earned, no wild pitches. Okay. So Belcher is going to come out of the game. Coming in to pinch hit for the Dodgers will be, is it going to be Dave Hansen? I think he's the only third baseman they've got right now. Actually, Lenny Harris is at third base. Yeah, they're going to bring Dave Hansen in to pinch hit. He hit his only homer against right-handed pitching. That's Ian. Okay. So Dave Hansen coming in to pinch hit for Belcher, who they needed to get him out of the game. Plus, they wanted to give him some more free time to chew out Lenny Harris. Although Lenny Harris might soon have a lot of free time himself. But Sharperson at second. Smoltz looks into Heath for the sign. Smoltz will set. Here's the pitch. 6 is going to be a tough 17. And Hansen's going to get frozen by a curveball for strike 3. That'll be the first out of the inning, and Smoltz's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th strikeout on the day. Smoltz has been on today, and I'll have to think about what I'm doing with Dave Hansen, if he's going to stay in the game or not. Here's Lenny Harris. Actually, no, he's not going to stay in the game, I don't think. Harris, though, is 0 for 2 with the bat in his hands today. Sharperson at second. Smoltz looks back to him. Smoltz will look into Heath for the sign. Smoltz will set. Here's the pitch. 12 is a defense check. Somebody for Atlanta's got to play defense now. That ball is hit toward third base. Going after that one is Pendleton on an error check. Pendleton's error rating is a 4. And he's going to boot that one. And that's going to be a 2-base error. So Harris will be at second. Sharperson will score. Harris will be at second on the E5. And the score is now 4-1 in favor of the Dodgers. Stadium groans. Ugh. And here's Cal Daniels. Daniels is 0 for 2. I don't think they're going to try to lay down the bunt here. Daniels has got pretty good power. Smoltz will look in at Heath for the sign. Not only is the no-hitter gone, now so is the shutout. Smoltz will get the sign from Heath. Smoltz will set. Here's the pitch. 9 is an in-play 57. And it's a fly ball into left field. Getting under that one is going to be Nixon. He'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. And here's Strawberry. Strawberry is 0 for 2 today. Smoltz trying to limit the damage to the 1 run. Smoltz will get the sign from Heath. Smoltz will set. Here's the pitch. 4 is going to be an in-play 3. And against a righty, Strawberry's going to hit that one for a double. I'm pretty sure I don't have to check the fast action cards, but, well, mostly to see where it goes. That's going to be a deep drive off the wall into right field. So that's going to be a D9. That'll be enough to bring Harrison to score. Strawberry will end up at second. And in this inning, the Dodgers have managed to cut the lead for Atlanta in half. Stadium groans. Ugh. And here's Butler. Butler reached on a walk and stole a base, but he also got caught stealing. 4-2 Atlanta, top of the 6th. Smoltz looking in at Heath for the sign. Smoltz will set. Here's the pitch. 3 is a tough 39, and that's going to be just enough for Butler to get that out of the infield for a base hit. Line drive into center field. Runner on first advances 1 base. Runner on second scores. So that'll be an S8 for Butler. But that will be enough to score Strawberry. And the score is now, just like that, 4-3 Atlanta. and the Braves fans are not liking what they see at all. Stadium groans. Ugh. Here's Scotia. Scotia is 0 for 1 with a walk today. Smoltz trying to limit the damage. Dodgers would like to pour gasoline on the fire. Smoltz will get the sign from Heath. He will set. Here's the pitch. 4 is an in-play 79. It's a fly ball into center field. Gant coming in for that one, slightly on the run, but he'll get that one and retire the side. 3 runs on 3 hits and an error, and its score is now 4-3 heading into the bottom of the 6th. And coming in to pitch for the Dodgers will be Jim Gott. 4-3 with a 2.96 ERA, 76 innings pitched, 63 hits, 5 homers, 32 walks, and 73 strikeouts in 91. We're going to get some activity in the Atlanta bullpen as well, as getting loose for the Braves will be... They're going to get Jim Clancy loose in the Atlanta bullpen. Right. And leading off the top of the bottom of the 6th for the Braves is Ron Gant. Gant is 3 for 3 with a single and 2 doubles, and he scored a run. 4-3 Atlanta, bottom of the 6th. Atlanta had been in control of this game. The Dodgers have stormed back to within 1. Things are getting very interesting here at Fulton County Stadium. Gott will get the sign from Scotia. He will set, and here's the pitch. 10 is a tough 45, and Gant will swing through the high heat for the first out of the inning. I got to swap out the hitting card as well. We need hitting card 15 for Gott. There we are. And here's Justice. Justice still does an official plate appearance today. 2 walks and a sac fly. He'll probably get a plate appearance here, though. Gott will looking at Scotia for the sign. Gott will set. Here's the pitch. 8 is a tough 44, and Justice will swing through a curveball just on the inside corner for his first official plate appearance, but also his first strikeout of the day. 2 outs, and here's Sid Bream. Bream is 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. Gott will get the sign from Scotia. Gott will set. Here's the pitch. 10 is a tough 27, and the Dodgers cannot get out of the inning. Bream will find that one for a base hit. Dodgers cannot get out of these innings. And here's Lemke. Lemke is 0 for 2 with a walk today. The Dodgers get to 2 outs, and then they just seem to implode today. Gott will get the sign from Scotia. Gott will set, and here comes the pitch. 9 is going to be a patient 51, and that's going to be no exception. Lemke will get a base hit out of that one. Let's see what happens here. Long single in the gap into center field. Runner on first advances 2 bases. So that's an S8 for Lemke. Bream will end up at third. Lemke will end up at first. And here comes Heath. Heath is 1 for 2 with a double. Gott trying to keep the Braves off the board in this inning. He doesn't want to give up any of the margin that the Dodgers worked so hard to cut into. Gott will get the sign from Scotia. He will set. Here's the pitch. 7. That's cocked. 7 is going to be a tough 55. It's a ground ball to third. Getting to that one is going to be Harris. He'll fire it up to second and get Lemke there easily, and that will retire the side. 2 hits, but the Braves can't do anything with them. Suddenly we have a very interesting game here. 4-3 Atlanta after 6. Okay, goes like so. Top of the 7th coming up, and we're going to see a pitching change for the Braves. Smoltz is going to come out of the game. He had quite the outing, and he's in line for the win today. Coming in to pitch for the Braves will be Jim Clancy. 3-2 with a 5.97 ERA, 34 2/3 innings pitched, 36 hits, 3 homers, 14 walks, and 17 strikeouts in 91. He'll be looking at the middle bottom of the Dodgers order. Leading off the top of the 7th will be Eddie Murray. Murray is 0 for 2 today. Braves were in total control of this game. Dodgers said, not so fast, guys. We still have a lot of baseball left to play, and indeed, there is a lot of baseball left to play. Clancy will look in at Heath for the sign. He will set. Here's the pitch. 7 is going to be a tough 9. Murray frozen by the fastball on the outside corner, and that will be the called strike 3 for the first out of the inning. And I'm dropping cards today. Here's Griffin. Griffin is 0 for 2. Clancy hoping to make sure nothing crazy happens here. Clancy looks in at Heath for the sign. He will set. Here's the pitch. 12 is an in-play 44. That's going to be grounded right back to Clancy. He'll move that over to Bream at first, and that'll be the second out of the inning. And here's Sharperson. Sharperson broke up Smoltz's no-hitter back in the 6th. 2 outs, top of the 7th. Atlanta leading 4-3. Game 3 of the NLDS. Braves had been in control. Dodgers stormed back. It's going to be very interesting. Clancy will look in at Heath for the sign. Clancy will set. Here's the pitch. 8 is an in-play 10. And against a righty, Sharperson will get that out of the infield for a base hit. Now the question is, do you pinch hit for Gott already? I think you almost have to in this situation. Question is, who do they want to start getting loose in the bullpen now? Yeah, they're going to plan on pinch hitting for. I think they are going to pinch hit ultimately for Jim Gott, but I'm trying to decide who I want to start warming up. They're going to get Dennis Cook warming up in the Dodger bull. With 2 outs. No, you know what? They're going to let Gott hit. He's only 1 inning in anyway. Well, I'm going back and forth on this one, admittedly. Should I pinch hit him? Should I have him pinch it this early? Or should I pinch it for him now? Yeah, I think we are going to pinch it for Gott. So Gott is going to come out of the game after only going 1 inning, facing 5 batters, 2 strikeouts, no walks, 2 hits, no runs. They need to get this running too much. They want to get a good bat at the plate. They're going to get Dennis Cook warming up in the Dodger bullpen. So he'll be the 3rd pitcher today. And coming in to pinch hit for the Dodgers will be they're going to bring Stan Javier in to pinch hit for Jim Gott. I was trying to think of who it was going to be. Just making a note in my log. His only homer coming against right-handed pitching in 91. Clancy looking in at Heath for the sign. Clancy will set. Here's the pitch. 6 is going to be a patient 86. He's not that patient. He's going to ground that over to short. Belliard will get that one. He'll take it to second himself, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except the single for the Dodgers, and we are at 4-3 after 7. While you guys imagine my torturous rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, I'm going to change my battery before we get into the bottom of the 7th. I brought Gott down before I remembered, hey, idiot, you just pinch hit for him when he came up to bat in the top of the 7th. So Gott is out of the game, and coming in to pitch, Dennis Cook, 1-0 with a .51 ERA, 17 and 2/3 innings pitched, 12 hits, no homers, 7 walks, 8 strikeouts, and 91. He will be charged with the bottom of the Atlanta order. And coming into... right, Clancy was their long reliever, so... DC. They are going to let Clancy bat. He bats on pitcher hitting card 1. And of course, no individualized stats for the pitchers. Cook will look in at Clancy for the... We'll look in at Scotia for the sign. Cook will set. Here's the pitch. 6 is going to be a tough 17. And that one will freeze Clancy for the first out of the inning. Fastball right down the middle, and he didn't realize it was there. He should have swung at it. Here's Nixon. Nixon is 2 for 3 with 2 steals, and he reached on an error back in the 5th. Cook trying to keep this game right where it is, heading into the bottom of the 7th. 4-3 Atlanta, Game 3 of the NLDS. Atlanta was cruising until the Dodgers said not so fast. Cook will get the sign from Scotia. He will set. And here's the pitch. 4 is going to be a patient 96. Otis will get under that one and lift that one into left field. Coming under that one will be Daniels. He won't have to move too far forward, though. He'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. And here's Belliard. Belliard is 1 for 4 with a double today. Cook will look in at Scotia for the sign. Cook will set. Here's the pitch. 8 is going to be a patient 52. And Belliard's going to get plunked by the pitch. Plunk. Ouch. And the Dodgers' troubles with 2 outs continue. Here's Pendleton coming up to the plate. Pendleton is 2 for 4 with 2 singles, and he scored a run. Cook will look in at Scotia for the sign. Cook will set. Here's the pitch. 4 is a patient 45. And against a lefty, Pendleton will still hit that one for a base hit. Let's see what happens on the base paths. Soft blooper into right field. So that's an S9. Belliard will advance 1 base. And the Dodgers have been having all kinds of problems with 2 outs today. Here's Gant coming up. Gant is 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and a single. Braves looking to blow this open. Belliard at second, Pendleton at first, Gant at the plate. 2 outs in the inning. Cook looking a little bit nervous. He will look over to Scotia for the sign. Scotia will give him a sign. Cook will accept it. Cook will set. Here's the pitch. 7 is an in-play 0-0. Uh-oh, we've got a rare play with men on. Runners on base, in play. Here we are. That one was cocked. 46. Batter lines a single to left field. Lead runner hesitates, thinking the ball might be caught, and is thrown out at the next base. If runner is forced, change the batter results to a fielder's choice, and the runner is forced out trying to advance. Otherwise, the single remains and the runner is tagged out. Other runners advance 1 base, and the batters stay at first base. Okay, so Gant will get a base hit out of that one. Let me sort this out. So that's going to be an S7. Lead runner's Belliard hesitates, thinking the ball might be caught. Belliard's actually going to be thrown out at the plate, and that will end the inning. Nothing across except the single and the hit batter for the Braves, and the score remains 4-3 Atlanta after 7. Stadium groans. Ugh. Top of the 8th coming up, and we're looking at the top of the Dodgers order due up next. Clancy finishes up his warm-up tosses, as into the batter's box will step Harris. Harris is 0 for 2, but he reached on an error back in the 6th. 4-3 Atlanta, top of the 8th. Game 3 of the NLDS. Dodgers looking for the death blow. Braves are so far evading it. Clancy will get the sign from Heath. Clancy, actually, let me check here. Okay, this is his second inning. Clancy will set. Here's the pitch. 6 is a patient 91. Harris isn't that patient. That's going to be a ground ball to second. Getting to that one is going to be Lemke. He'll make the play over to first for the first out of the inning. And we're going to remember to get some activity in the Dodger bullpen here, as John Candelaria is going to start warming up for the Dodgers. I'll go ahead and compile Dennis Cook's stats while I'm looking at it, because he's a short reliever, right? Yes. Right, so 1 inning pitched, faced 5 batters, struck out 1, didn't give up a walk, 2 hits, no runs, no earned, no wild pitches. All right, coming in, now stepping into the batter's box for the Dodgers is Cal Daniels. Daniels is 0 for 3 today. Clancy looking at Heath for the sign. Clancy will set, and here's the pitch. Oops, don't drop dice. In the tower we go. 3 is a defense check. Let's see what's happening here. That ball is hit into right field. Going after that is Justice. We got to make an error check. His error rating is a 3. And Justice is going to bobble that one. Let's see how bad it is. In the outfield, somehow it's just a 1-base error. So Daniels will find himself safe at first on the E9. And that will bring Strawberry up to the plate. Strawberry is 1 for 3 with a double. Infield will go to double play depth. Let's see, jump of 4 against a hold of 6. Attempting to try to send Daniels, take away the double play and get into scoring position. But Strawberry's actually got pretty good power, so they're going to let Strawberry swing away here. Top of the 8th, 1 out. 4-3 Braves. Daniels at first, Strawberry at the plate. Clancy looks into Heath for the sign. Clancy will set. Here's the pitch. 7 is going to be a tough 33. Strawberry will swing through the high heat for the second out of the inning. And here's Butler. Butler's 1 for 2 today with a single, a walk, and he's stolen a base. Clancy trying to get this game to the bottom of the 8th. Daniels at first. Butler out the plate. Clancy will look in at Heath for the sign. Clancy will set. Clancy will pitch. 7 is a tough 55, and that's going to be grounded up over to third. Getting at that one is going to be Pendleton. But we need to see if it's a double play. 5 or less is a double play. And that would retire this. Actually, no, there are 2 outs in the inning, so never mind. He's going to throw that over to second, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except the error for the Dodgers, and the score remains 4-3 Atlanta heading into the bottom of the 8th. Cook is going to come out of the game as John Candelaria is going to come in to pitch. 1-1 with a 3.74 ERA, 33 2/3 innings pitched, 31 hits, 3 homers, 11 walks, and 38 strikeouts in 91. He's got to navigate the middle of the Braves order, though. We're going to see David Justice leading off for the bottom of the 8th. Justice today is 0 for 1 with a strikeout, a walk, 2 walks, and a sacrifice fly. We're going to get some activity in the Atlanta bullpen as... who do they want to start warming up? They're going to get Mike Stanton warming up in the Braves bullpen. Justice or Candelaria will look in at Scotia for the sign. Fresh inning. Candelario will set. Here's the pitch. 10 is a ballpark check. 38's wheelhouse. Uh-oh. Justice thinks he's got a hold of one. 73, he's got a hold of one, but it's a base hit. That'll just get out of the infield. So Justice will lead off the inning with a base hit. The infield will go to double play depth. And here's Bream. Bream today is 2 for 3 with 2 singles and a walk. Justice not doing anything on the base paths right now. Candelario will look in at Heath for the sign. Candelario will set. Here's the pitch. 6 is a tough 92. It's a fly ball into right field. Strawberry ranging in for that one. He'll make the catch for the first out of the inning. And 6th, okay. Here's Lemke coming up. Lemke is 1 for 3 with a single and a walk. Justice at first. Braves trying to score more. Candelario trying to hold the game right where it is. Candelario will get the sign from Scotia. He will set. Here's the pitch. 5 is going to be a tough 99. It's a fly ball into left field. Daniels will get under that one. He'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. And now this is a time to be nervous if you're a Dodgers fan, because the Dodgers have had problems with 2 outs today. Here's Heath. Heath is 1 for 4 with a double. 4-3 Atlanta, bottom of the 8th. Stanton getting ready to come in and try to close this game out for the Braves. Candelario looking at Scotia for the sign. He will set. Here's the pitch. 7 is going to be a tough 34. And Heath will swing through a curveball for strike 3. And that will retire the side. Nothing across except the single for the Braves. Score remains 4-3 Atlanta after 8. Top of the 9th coming up, and we are going to see a pitching change for the Braves. Clancy's going to come out of the game. Coming in to pitch for the Braves will be Mike Stanton. 5-5 with a 2.88 ERA. 78 innings pitched, 62 hits, 6 homers, 21 walks, and 54 strikeouts. He might be able to save the Braves season, but in order to do that, he needs to navigate the middle of the Dodgers order. Here's Mike Scotia. Scotia is 0 for 2 today with a walk. 4-3 Atlanta. Atlanta trying to prolong this series. Stanton will look in at Heath for the sign. He will set. Here's the pitch. 9 is going to be a tough 63. And that's going to be lifted into left field. Getting under that one is going to be Nixon without too many problems. He'll make the catch for the first out of the inning. And here's Murray. Murray is 0 for 3. Stanton will look in at Heath for the sign. Stanton will set. Here's the pitch. 9 is a tough 8. And that's going to freeze... That curveball will freeze Murray for strike 3. And that's the second out of the inning. And the last chance for the Dodgers comes to Alfredo Griffin. Griffin is 0 for 3. 2 outs, top of the 9th. If this pitch is an out, our season continues and we'll be back here in Atlanta for Game 4 Saturday. Stanton looking at Heath for the sign. Stanton will set. Atlanta Fulton County Stadium buzzing, thinking they'll be back on Saturday. Stanton will kick. Here's the pitch. 6 is a patient 12. Ball 4. Griffin reaches. Dodgers are saying, not so fast. You guys can have trouble with 2 outs too, you know. And here's Sharperson. Sharperson, though, is 2 for 3. Griffin looking over at... Could they try to swipe a bag here? Run of 4, jump of 4 against a hold of 9. Probably not with stats like that. Could they try it? Griffin would be a C4, which is a very good chance. Would they try it here and get themselves thrown out of the game? I don't think you would, actually. It's a thought, but not a good one, I don't think. So we're not going to do it. Stanton looking in at Heath for the sign. Atlanta Fulton County Stadium on their feet. Stanton will set. Here's the pitch. 10 is a defense check. Uh-oh. Where's this one hit to? It's hit right back to Stanton on a possible error check. His error rating is a B. His error rating is a 5. And he's not going to make an error on that one. Stanton gets that one. He'll pump once, pump twice, throw to first. That's your game. The Atlanta Braves extend their season by defeating the Los Angeles Dodgers by a score of 4-3. Stadium cheers. Yay! Final line score coming up. For the Braves, 4 runs on 15 hits and 1 error. For the Dodgers, 3 runs on 4 hits and 1 error. Winning pitcher today is John Smoltz. Tim Belcher will take the loss, and Mike Stanton will end up with the save. And the Dodgers lead this series 2-1, and we'll be back here for Game 4 on Saturday. As for what's coming up on the channel, tomorrow night we'll be in Kansas City. Right? Yes. We'll be in Kansas City for Game 3 between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Kansas City Royals. I can tell you who's going in a second. David Wells is going for the Blue Jays, and Luis Aquino is going for the Royals. Wednesday, we're taking a break from baseball to play some Aeon's End. Saturday, Mystical Munchies will continue out of the Fallout Official Vault Dwellers Cookbook with the dessert, Fruit Crumble. Sunday next week, I don't know what's going to be on the channel yet. APA Football is scheduled, but after my debacle with Inside Blitz Football, which you might have seen by the time this video goes live, you may know that I'm not real happy with how football is presenting on the channel. So I don't know what's going to be on the channel next week. But I'm rambling now. Thank you for watching this video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.